Hello everyone, and welcome back to our channel. If you're new here, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, like this video, and let us know your thoughts in the comments below. Today, we are diving into a serious political storm brewing in South Africa's Government of National Unity, one that could shake the foundations of the current cabinet and ignite a fresh wave of coalition drama. Tensions are rising sharply between the ANC and the Democratic Alliance, and the latest flashpoint. A bold and unapologetic warning from DA Federal Council Chair, Helen Zille, to President Cyril Ramaphosa himself. This all comes after a group of DA ministers, yes, cabinet ministers appointed under the GNU, took a surprising but deliberate stance by voting against the adoption of the ANC-led fiscal framework. This framework is a cornerstone of the government's economic strategy, and the rebellion didn't just ruffle feathers, it rocked the alliance at its core. According to Zille, this wasn't an act of defiance, but rather a principled decision aligned with the DA's stance on economic responsibility. In her public statement, she made it crystal clear, the DA believes the current fiscal direction represents mismanagement and places the economy at further risk. Zille defended the actions of the ministers, arguing that true democracy allows for dissent, even within the executive. She said the DA's ministers were acting according to both conscience and party mandate, representing the will of the people who elected them. But here's where the story takes a sharper turn. Zille went on to warn President Ramaphosa against any rash decisions, especially removing DA ministers from the cabinet as punishment. She stressed that doing so would not only be unjust but dangerous, saying it could lead to deeper political instability at a time when the country can least afford it. The economy is already under heavy strain. Unemployment remains stubbornly high, the cost of living is squeezing ordinary South Africans, and uncertainty continues to spook investors. Zille's message? South Africa needs leadership and unity, not a political purge. Her comments raise a critical question: is the Government of National Unity already falling apart? If cabinet members can't agree on fundamental financial strategies, and face threats of dismissal for expressing disagreement, how stable is this so-called unity? Zille's statement seems to anticipate the possibility of a cabinet reshuffle, something that's been whispered in the corridors of Parliament for weeks now. If Ramaphosa chooses to fire the DA ministers, the DA could pull out of the GNU entirely, which would trigger a chain reaction. It would destabilize the already fragile balance between parties and could even force the ANC to seek new allies or form a different type of coalition altogether. But let's zoom out for a second. The bigger issue here is whether South Africa's political institutions are truly ready for the GNU model. In theory, it's a noble concept, diverse political voices coming together to govern collaboratively. But in practice, it seems to be plagued by ideological clashes and personal power struggles. Helen Zille's remarks also reflect a growing sentiment within the DA that the GNU is being dominated by ANC ideology, leaving little room for real multi-party collaboration. The fiscal framework, transformation policies, social grant allocations, all these are major sticking points that expose the deep philosophical rift between the DA's market-based economic approach and the ANC's more interventionist policies. Zille is walking a tightrope here. On one hand, she's defending her party's values. On the other, she's calling for stability, essentially asking Ramaphosa not to let this disagreement spiral into a full-blown coalition crisis. Now, President Ramaphosa finds himself in a politically precarious position. If he removes the ministers, it sends a strong message about discipline and loyalty, but at the risk of looking authoritarian and intolerant of debate. If he allows the dissent to go unchecked, it may embolden further divisions, making governance even more difficult in an already tense cabinet. As South Africans, we have to ask ourselves, are we witnessing the beginning of the end for the Government of National Unity? Or is this just a necessary test of its resilience? This confrontation could have far-reaching implications. If the DA exits the GNU or is forced out, it could spark a new round of political negotiations, possibly with smaller parties, or even bring opposition forces like the EFF or MK party closer to the ANC, a scenario that would dramatically shift the policy direction of the state. So what's next? Will Ramaphosa heed Zille's warning and try to preserve unity, or will he crack the whip and risk a political rupture? Only time will tell, but what's clear is that South Africa is entering yet another turbulent chapter in its political evolution. Let us know your thoughts in the comments. Do you think President Ramaphosa should fire the DA ministers, or should he respect their right to disagree? And what does this mean for the future of the GNU? Don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you don't miss our next update. Thanks for watching, and as always, stay informed, stay engaged, and stay safe. See you next time.